Okay, next topic is reciprocal functions. So my first question was to talk about how do you know when a reciprocal has an invariant point? So an invariant means something that's not going to change. So for an example, the coordinate, if you ever had a coordinate 5, 1, we always look at the y, the height, and to reciprocate 1 changes to 1 over 1, which is not changing. Okay, and another point that would change is when there would be a -1 height. It would also stay. Okay, and it doesn't matter what the x coordinate would be. Let's make one up. Okay, so invariance when the heights are 1 or the heights are -1. Those coordinates will not move. Okay, so here's my graph. I'm going to do the reciprocal of it. So step 1, if the height is 0, the new height is undefined. So now we do an asymptote to represent that. Okay, next, if the height is 1 or -1, sorry, it will stay there. So for instance, this coordinate, that coordinate, and that coordinate. I'm just going to draw these extra big so that we can maybe see them better. Okay, so those 4 coordinates are not going to move. And then we're going to fill in the pattern. So for instance, this is the highest or furthest away from 0. Then, so the high would become the low, and the low will become the high, kind of vice versa. So this coordinate has a height of 3, will now go to a height of 1/3. Okay, so a height of 3 would become 1/3. Now I need to understand from here it's the lowest, so I'm just going to go up higher and higher and higher, and then I have to follow the asymptotes. Also, I know that in this section right here, I'm getting closer to 0, so look at what my reciprocal is doing further away. Okay, so here, this zone is getting closer to 0, so it's going to shoot away from 0. And this zone is shooting away from 0, so now it's going to shoot towards 0. But because I have an arrowhead there saying get closer and closer and closer to 0, I need to now create an asymptote marker there as well. Okay, so this invariant point is actually the lowest point. So then we just have to consider this section. So this section is fractions getting closer and closer and closer to 0. So now it would shoot away from 0.